birdie to me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second English episode of the Disc Golf podcast, Talk Birdie to Me. I am Ida Udbeck, and with me, as usual, I have my co-host, Jolene Halvason. Hello, Jolene.
Hi.
Hi. And Talk Birdie to Me is a space and time where we give women's disc golf its due. And we discuss all things related to women's disc golf, everything from fierce competition at the Pro Tour level to community building. And this podcast is produced in collaboration with PDGA Europe Women. And today we're going to focus on, firstly, the PDGA Europe Women Initiative. And we're going to have a guest that tell us a little bit more about this. And we're going to pay some more attention and time on women's only tournaments with Caroline Selnes, who is later joining the podcast. But first, let's talk briefly about all the tournaments that have been going on in the last weeks.
There's been a lot. I mean, the Pro Tour came to Europe. So we started with Finally. There was a Q Series in Scotland that started the whole thing off, where we had Rachel Turton win the tournament. Congratulations to Rachel.
Yes, and after the Scottish Open, it was followed by the first Pro Tour event, the Konapiste Open, where we saw a dominant performance, not very, unsurprisingly, by Kristin Lett, who took home the victory. But what really stood out to us was all the young talent that was displayed at Konapiste. We had lead card with Ida Emilie Nesse in the final round. Earlier, we had, let's see if I can pronounce her name correctly, Nicole Mikulastik from Czech Republic. We, of course, saw friend of the pod, Julia Foss, coming in a top 10 place finish.
Yeah. It was a great tournament for the women to really show themselves, and especially the youths. I mean, that was really impressive. And especially Nicole, she won the Monday qualifier to be able to participate in the Elite Series at Konapiste. That was really
and the
nice
course
to
is
see.
just so
and
beautiful.
Also, of course, yeah, I know, it's so lovely to watch. It was amazing, and even though, I mean, Kristin, she won with a bit of a dominance, but Silva really gave her a fight, especially on the last round. It was really fun to watch. I loved it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it was great competition, beautiful course, newcomers. It's just everything you want from a disc golf tournament.
Yeah, and it's so exciting that the tour is coming over to Europe, and here we have all these young girls, showing themselves at the scene at such an early age. And just, I mean, they've been playing for years, obviously, but also really early in their careers. So super fun.
Mm-hmm. It bodes like really well for disc golf.
Feels like I'm just saying, this is so fun. This is so fun. But yeah, it's exciting.
It is so fun.
Yes, it is. And also we had this weekend, the past weekend, we had the Q Series in Sweden. So it was at Eastern Meadows, just a bit outside Norrköping, in the middle of Sweden. And there we had our 13-year-old Julia Foss win the tournament.
Yeah, take it down, playing against some really established players. I mean, beating out Olivia Kinstedt and Jenny Karpinen, and of course all the Swedish FPO players like Jenny Larsson and Josefin Johansson, who took the third place. Julia dominated. I mean, she had the lead from the first round and then was able to take it down. It was a little bit closer than I would have liked for a while in the third round, but I think it really shows her maturity and her strength is that even though it got close in the final round, she was able to focus up and get the victory.
Yeah, I'm so happy that it ended that way because, as you say, she really got away. She got a chance to really show herself because we seen her already on the tour in Sweden that she's been winning several events so far. So this was, I mean, for her this year, who knows where it's ending. It was amazing to follow. So far, we only follow the PDGA live, but for those who want to, the last round of the FPO at Eastern Meadow Q Series here in Sweden, you can find it on YouTube. I think it is a Gatekeeper Media.
MDG Media
MDG.
has produced the round, so everyone go and watch it. It is, I'm sure it's very exciting. Even though now we spoiled the winner,
Yeah, but
but if you just want,
I hope that everyone has been following on the PDGA live. I mean, this is exciting. You can't wait for these post productions to show up.
they were very quick though.
Yeah, I know, but we're used to the live on DGN, so
yes, true.
yes. And also
And
this
yeah,
weekend
sorry.
coming up, we have the next. It is it DDPT? Is it some elite series or what is it? Sorry, I don't have this at the moment in front of me.
Yeah, so it's similar to Konapishte. It's an elite series.
Yeah, so all
And
open elite series. Yeah, okay, cool. And here now in Sweden, we will have more, players coming from all over Europe. Now we have some Finns showing up, and we have Kristin Lett in the field.
mhm.
So this is gonna be really exciting, and this will be live at the DGN as well.
Yeah, I think this. I mean, this tournament is like the peak of this first part of the European swing, and where we have, as you said, we're going to have players such as Kristin Lett. And I realize now I haven't been checking the registered players lately, but I know that Evelina and Henna both were registered before. But I
They
can see that
still
you are
are.
waving.
Yeah, they're still registered. So
Fantastic.
they took some time off. If we all have social media, we know why.
Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations, Henna Blomrost, to
Yay!
your wedding.
Yay! Congratulations. So that would be fun, and that course is beautiful as well. And I know they made some changes from last year, and it will be so exciting to see what they've done to the course and also to see this, you know, smashing players that throws really far just attack the course and what they can do with it.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's going to be such a difference because we know last year that Ole got a little bit of critique of having a longer FPO layout than what you necessarily want. And they have taken this feedback from the players and now they have edited some of the holes where they have added a front tee or another tee to the layout. And I'm really excited to see how it's going to play. Both with the adjusted layout and then also when we get these players who throw really, really far.
And I'm also excited to see our Swedish player, Sofie Björlicke, show up at a DGPT event. She was at Konopiste last year, and we could see her on DGN. She was on lead card. So I'm excited to see her back, where you can follow her live in a different way. She hasn't been attending to any bigger events this year so far. So I'm looking forward to see her back.
Yeah, definitely a player to keep an eye on this weekend.
Oh yeah.
And we'll also have Julia Foss. I mean, now we're focusing on a lot on the Swedish players, but they're close to
Yeah.
our heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see how Julia Foss plays this weekend and see how she can kind of withhold the great play that she has already done. And Ole is, I mean, if not her home course, it's very close to, and I know she loves playing there, so it's going to be very exciting to see her play.
Yeah, and I mean, last year the Swedish championships were played on that course, and she took fifth place there. And it feels
Hmm.
like a lot has happened to her with her form and just her mental form on the off season. So it will be great to see her back. And also, I mean, we talk about the Swedish players because this has been, you know, we had the Swedish Open last year, but this event also feels special because there's a different course now that also provides this, size of an event. It means a lot for the Swedes to be able to participate without, dealing with all the travel so far and all the planning and money that goes into it. So we're all really excited.
Yeah, I think the only bad part is that we won't be there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, we're following on, I mean, DGN Live as usual and in the PGA Live app, but it's definitely a different feeling being on site. So if you have the opportunity to travel to Ole this weekend, this episode will be released on the Thursday and the episode starts tomorrow, Friday. I mean, go. The tickets are pretty cheap. It's, yeah, just
Yeah.
even the VIPs. Yeah, just go experience
Yeah.
live disc golf on site, see the players. You'll have the world's best player
Yeah.
there.
I mean,
Like
and
there's
this,
no reason not to go.
no, and this course is, I would say, really good for following live because there are some holes in the woods that, I mean, yeah, it gets a bit crowded and, you have to stand on very well placed spot. And I think that they will be probably volunteers, be there and just make sure that everything is comfortable for everyone, knowing where they're going to go when and stuff. So, but for the most part, it's a really nice course and the surroundings. And they built a new store, and on top of the store, they built like a terrace. Is that the name on English? Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and then you get, oh, I mean, that view from that roof with the terrace, you can see hole 1, 2, you can see hole 18 and hole 10, I think.
9.
9, I mean, you can see
Oh no,
so
sorry, 10.
10, yeah. So
Well,
you,
I guess the basket for online as
yeah,
well.
exactly. I mean, you can see so
Yeah.
much. So get there on time, get a spot on this roof, drink your coffee, have a cinnamon bun, and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for everyone who speaks Swedish, we are gonna give a lot of attention to Ale Open and the, I'm sure, exciting game that happened in our next week's episode. But I mean, with all this competition that is going on, and I mean, the sun is shining outside, we have almost 20 degrees in Sweden, which I mean, that's like the best summer weather that we
Top
get.
notch.
It makes you really want to step outside and play yourself.
Yeah.
So we're going to pivot away from talking about the big pro tournaments, and instead we're going to focus this episode on something that is very close to our heart and something that we think is really important to grow women's disc golf, namely women's only events and tournaments. So a few weeks ago, we organized together with our club, Spindisk FK, here in the south of Sweden. We organized the largest women-only tournament in Sweden this year, at least to this date. And yes, please, all TDs out there who organize women's events in Sweden, consider this a challenge. Make it bigger and better.
Mm-hmm.
We love to see it.
Go for it.
But we also felt like we need some reinforcement talking about this topic. So we have invited two women who have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about this. And with that, we I think we should invite our first guest, Sofia Campos Pereira from PDGA Europe.
Talk, birdie, to me.
So next, we want to introduce you to another hardworking lady in disc golf who is working a lot behind the scenes in disc golf. We are very excited to welcome PDGA Europe board member Sofia Campos Pereira. Welcome to the podcast. I hope I said your name right.
You.
I didn't ask you before.
You said my name perfectly. That was very good.
I'm so glad. So before starting to record, we've had some technical issues because you are not at home. You very graciously have made the effort to defeat technique and you are abroad. Could you tell us where you are and why?
Yes. I am in Poland because I run a sports event company in Beach Ultimate, a different type of disc. And we have the European Championships here this week. So I just arrived today.
Wow, that is very exciting. So what is your role in this?
So basically, we have a company called Bula, and we organize club championships. We did the Worlds last year, and we have a yearly tournament called the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships in collaboration with the European Flying Disc Federation and the local organizing committee here in Dansk this year. So this year it's in Dansk. We have 730 athletes from 19 countries, and the event starts Thursday. So I just arrived today.
Well, then we extra appreciate you taking time to talk to us today. So we're wondering first, so it said that you are a board member of PDGA Europe, but could you give a little bit more of a background or a short introduction to your background in disc golf?
Sure. So it's fairly recent. I started playing more during COVID. I used to be a beach ultimate player, and they closed the beaches in Portugal. At the same time, the first course in Portugal was established. And so I would go to the course in the morning very early and play. And at the same time, I took over that part of the disc golf and other disc sports for the Portuguese Flying Disc Association. Since then, it's grown. We have now 8 courses, 2, I would say, fairly good high-level courses, and a lot more players. And basically, so it's been 5 years since I've really started not only playing, but organizing in the disc golf world. And last year I joined the board, actually inspired by Calixto. Calixto called me, and then Auntie came to Lisbon, and I went to do a round with him. And I like the player-centric part of PDGA, that it's focused on the members. And I'm very happy I joined. I've learned a lot. I've been on the board since July. And I'm very happy. There's actually 3 board positions opening up. They are open right now for elections. So if anybody's interested, it's not boring. And the decisions that are made are focused on making it better for players.
Yeah, and it's really, there are decisions that really influence the disc golf in Europe. And so as Sofia said, if you want to have a chance to be that influence and decide what direction or be a part of the decisions that leads the way in disc golf in Europe, then definitely look into applying for one of those seats.
Yes.
And Sofia, I would, speaking of the PDGA Europe and that you're board of directors there, can you tell us about your role?
Sure. So basically, PDGA Europe has 7 board members and 3 staff members. The 3 staff members are amazing, Calixto, Mathieu, and Yuso. And then basically what the board does is provide a bit of direction on the decisions. We meet monthly also with Global, so with Doug from the CEO of PDGA Global and Brian from Canada International, PDGA International. And we discuss things that need to be discussed, be it things that came up in the last month, be it long-term decisions, budgeting, kinds of grants to fund. And my personal project is the Women's Project. With Rika and Calixto, we want to expand on Zoe Winfield's actions a few years ago. And so that's been sort of my project. So we also support the staff with specific projects. And that's basically what I'm doing. And that's what the board does in general.
So working on the women's initiative, can you talk a bit more about that? When did it start? Was it when you started in July or?
No, it started, well, Zoe in 2022 did a Women's Month. So Global has a women's day that every PDGA sanctioned event where women play, it's then put together as one big event. And Zoe took it one step further, and she actually got a lot of support from different sponsors. And what she did is any tournament that was within the PDGA Europe women's event did not pay sanctioning fees, and then there were prizes at the end. Didn't matter what your position was. The prizes were randomly chosen, be it a signed disc from one of the pros or, a bag and stuff like that. What we did this year, and this was decided at the summit in October, we decided to change it a little bit to give a little bit more flexibility to organizers, that the whole month of September, any event in the whole month of September, instead of just one weekend, would be within the PDGA women's, PDGA Europe women's hat. Most of them, or some of them, would get waiver of sanctioning fees. And then we have a women's festival. We also want to set up a women's committee, PDGA Women's Committee. So the Women's Festival is at the beginning of October. So after all the events in September, any TD or assistant TD gets free entrance into the Bilbao event. And it will be, so basically it's a 3-day event. You can play 1 round, 2 rounds, or 3. So the first day is a flex start day. So you can bring your kids, your family, everybody can play that. Every division is available. Flex start, you're on your own. That's Friday. Friday night, we have the Women's Summit, where we will discuss things exactly like what you discuss in your podcast. How can we help grow? What can we learn from each other? Every community has its issues, but there are some very good lessons that we can all learn from each other. And then Saturday and Sunday is a women's event only for everybody at every division in the female divisions. So from pro to FA 80, everybody is welcome. And there will be only 1 round per day, so 2 rounds, and then lots of socializing. Tapas, Guggenheim Museum, talking. I think we all need to just be around each other and talk. Also a pro clinic. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's very, very exciting. The whole thing, there's already, I believe, around 20 events registered under this hat in September. And we just opened up the registration for the festival itself, and there's also people signing up. So I'm very excited. It's really cool.
It sounds like something you definitely don't want to miss.
I hope you guys can make it.
Yeah, we will definitely make our best. Still have to figure out some things with work for travel, but I think going for the weekend sounds very tempting.
Yes.
But I want to just, because you said that part of this is talking between different countries, and so when you've been working with PDGA Europe, are there any particular things that have stood out like trying to grow the women's side that differs between countries? Like,
Yes. There's definitely, at least from, I guess it depends on how far you want to go into it and what perspective you want to go into it. But from the statistics that we see, that we look at members and look at percentage of women members, there are big differences between countries. Some countries, so overall, Europe and global is about the same as far as the percentage of women. It's about the members that are females are about 7%. 7%. So it's quite low.
yeah, we need to make that more.
Yeah, we do. Now, some countries are better than that. And some European countries are better than that. Estonia, France, Czechia, they're better. They're better than 7%. 12%, 13%. So it is better. And then some countries are much worse as well. So this is something that it's something that we can work on, and how to make disc golf fun at every level, and especially the young girl. Like, why are girls not playing disc golf? Basically, that's it. Or why is there only 7% of disc golfers being girls? How can we help that change? And so I do think that actions like what you're doing is super important. I think a women's committee is super important. I think the summits are super important, because together we can come up with strategic plans on understanding why and maybe helping it sort of change.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a really good point. And I mean, the strategic plans, have you had the time to get into any of that? Do you want to talk about some actions that are taking place or had been taking place up to now and maybe this year?
Yes, I think what you mentioned in your email to me is relevant. The fact to have bathrooms at tournaments is super important.
Yes.
The opening up the female divisions for every male division that is open as well. I also sort of just thinking on my own, I think that there's a time when you're having children and you have young children that is, we have to perhaps think of events in which, I think it was Caroline that told me, the guys play one day and the girls play the other day, so that the dad can watch the kids while mom plays, because young kids on the disc golf course is just, it's tough. They make noise, they run around. And so that also makes it tough. It's not like beach ultimate. There's a beach, the kids are playing, the parents are playing. So, you can't be constantly, shh, don't talk, and, don't run around, and they just can't be on the course, basically. So I think we can come up with different models for different situations to allow women to enjoy and develop in disc golf and want to play and have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but could you, because you talk about the PGA, the women's committee. So is it something that is starting, or is it already started?
Yes, it doesn't exist yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a PDGA Women's Committee, a global PDGA Women's Committee,
Yes.
already established
Mm-hmm.
in the States. We didn't have one in Europe. We're just starting that.
Okay.
So we're interested in women that are interested in joining the committee, so that we can get feedback and discuss situations in which we could make it better for women to play, or more attractive for women to play, or to help. What kinds of different things could we do? So no, the committee does not exist yet. It is something that we are working on, and we hope by the summit in Bilbao, and also we're having a women's summit in Finland at Pro Worlds on the Tuesday the 29th, to get more women involved that will then join a committee to actually do some task distributions, and people can take on their own projects and help and make a change.
Mm-hmm. So, but you already have some goals or vision outlined for this committee, right? Could you enlighten us about that?
So I guess the committee would be to discuss the problems, that the situation at hand. How could we improve it in a sustainable and, not just sustainable, but what's the word? We have to be realistic. What can we do? What steps can we take to make a change to get more women playing? Girl clinics, women's clinics, getting women to come to a tournament and doing a women's clinic and supporting that financially perhaps would help. So there's all kinds of potential things, but there's nothing concrete yet.
Okay.
And so,
how is
how
the-
much?
No, you go ahead, Jolene.
Okay, so it sounds like there are a lot of good things thoughts going into this at the moment and what it want to be. But also, it sounds like it's going to take some time. How much time are you putting into this? Are you being able to put into this at the moment?
Yes. So that's a really good question. I think that's part of the problem. We have to find more manpower, more women power, more people to do things. At this point, the Women's Festival has taken up some time. And so organizing that and getting that going and having the Women's Summit in Finland and then in Bilbao. But after that, the idea is that we will have a cadence of every other year. So when PDGA Global does the day, then we can all do it too. We're PDGA members. And then have the European event every other year. So that will give more time to then dedicate to the Women's Committee, to what can we do. So the project won't stop, but this particular part, which takes time, will for now, until the next time.
Yeah.
So for the Women's Summit that you mentioned, both for Worlds and for the festival in Bilbao, who can participate in that?
Any woman. Any woman that wants to come. I think we will have to come up. We haven't decided yet exactly what the model of the we will have to have a free space for talking, for people to speak if they want to, and then specific questions that are sent earlier or that we can discuss. Otherwise, it'll be too chaotic and too long. But everybody is welcome.
Yeah, and I think we will be there, at least for Worlds.
Yes, we will.
Oh, good. So it'll be on the 29th. So you can mark that down on the 29th of July.
Yeah, you said it's the Tuesday. Now, yeah, because I don't remember the date, but I know we arrive Sunday or...
We arrive at Monday morning, so we will be there at Tuesday. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Count
like me.
us
I also
in.
arrive
Sounds
Monday
amazing.
Morning. Okay, perfect.
So
Good.
working with the
we have to come up with a good model
Europe
for it.
Women's Initiative so far, what have...
Sorry,
Okay,
I
so
didn't
maybe
hear
now
you.
we're up to speed. Yeah, no worries, no worries. I just wanted to talk about, you've been in the PDGA Europe Women's Initiative since July 2024. What have been the most inspiring for you so far to work on the committee or to work on the board?
For me, the having been involved in sports and sports organization for so long, because I do run a sports company, and dealing with federations and bureaucracies, I like the nimbleness of PDGA. Decisions are made quickly. Voting is made quickly. It's a very positive environment. I'm sure it's not always like that because it's about the people. But at this point, the group is super positive, and it's a real pleasure to work and to support disc golf. And I also help out Mathieu with the grants, the tour director, with the grants that come in for development. So it's a pleasure to see all the things that are happening in Europe, the different types of approaches and the different types of events that are asking for support. And basically, mostly, everybody gets some support. And it's just such a pleasure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so-
mean, I can definitely feel, being a content creator, I can definitely feel the presence of PDGA wanting to grow the sport, and especially for women. So it's really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, it's
So-
the women's thing. It's and also the rules. I mean, there's so many different components that are interesting, and the rules, like what we talked about, the rules changes that to help develop women's disc golf. But there's also just the discussion of different rules and the what should and should not take effect. What should we not do? So yes, I think it's been July. I guess it'll be a year now next month. So it's not that long, and I feel like I've learned a lot, and I hope I can contribute. I mean, I hope I am contributing.
Yeah, so because you're from Portugal, could you talk a little bit about the scene in Portugal? I mean, both disc golf, but also specifically for women, because I don't know anything about disc golf in Portugal.
Yeah. I think we had 5 players 3 or 4 years ago, and we have our biggest event 2 days after I get back, in just 2 hours north of Lisbon, in a new disc golf course that is beautiful, and we have right now 41 people registered, so that's super exciting. So it's really growing. It's growing a lot at the junior level too, which is great. Both boys and girls. Most of the women that started playing in the last 3 years are 60 years old, but they're developing. They had never thrown a disc, and they're developing and starting to care about their ratings and going to tournaments. And it's.
I love that.
So Portugal has grown a fair bit. Yeah. It's so, but we still need to get more of at every age division of women. But it is growing. Portugal it's so new. There was 1 course 4 years ago. Now there's 8. So it is growing. But it's still, right at early stages.
We're soon gonna let you go, but I just want to go back a little bit to the the Women's Festival, and kind of talk about what the participants can expect when they sign up to this amazing weekend.
Sorry,
Så
I
nära.
didn't hear you. There's something wrong, I think, with my connection. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Hello?
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
we're back.
Ida? Oh,
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
what to expect? Choppy, but I can hear you.
Sophia,
Can you hear me?
us? Yes.
Yes? Can you hear me? Okay. So you asked what to expect in Bilbao?
Yes.
Yes? You asked what to expect at the Women's Festival?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
or-
we can hear. Yeah. Yeah. Now you sound great.
Okay. Let me see if I can move somewhere in this crazy place that there's no net. I'm in the middle of the trees here.
Looks beautiful.
You can expect an amazing weekend of women's disc golf. And not only that, I think it will be, so we are going to, the Friday is for everybody as a flex start with every division. So MAs, MA3s, and for everybody to play. And then Friday afternoon is our summit. Then we go out at night. Then Saturday and Sunday, just women play. And then socialize and eat tapas and go to the Guggenheim and talk. And I think it will be very, very good. And we are tacking on the PDGA Europe Summit afterwards. And so a lot of the board members will be coming in earlier to be there to support with the event. Rika will be playing, obviously. All the women will be playing. And so I think it'll be a very, very productive weekend where people get a chance to play golf in a course that's a medium level. It's not, very... It's challenging enough, but it's not like, kind of pistia or something like that. Like
It's not killing you.
It's not going to kill you. And I think we can do a lot of socializing and talking and just, I think that would be very good. I hope so.
Yeah. So if anyone who listens wants to sign up or just find more information, where can they do that?
So do join us on Facebook, the PDGA Europe Women's Group. All the information is on there. If you just search Women's Festival PDGA, you will see also the event. It's on Disc Golf Scene, so you can sign up for it. And the Flex Start is no cost. It's just open for everybody the Friday. It's also, if you just Google it, you'll see it. But do join us on the PDGA Europe Women's Facebook page.
Yeah. Now you know what to do. Everyone who listens.
Sign up. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I think with that, we're going to say thank you so much, Sofia. I'm sure we're going to have more opportunities and more reasons to have you on the podcast, but we are very grateful and happy that you took the time out of your trip to join us here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me, and sorry about all the technical stuff.
It's not easy being on the go.
But thank you.
Poland is...
No, it was...
Thank you so much, Sofia.
And thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person.
From top competition to the new players. From supporting women to funding new courses. PDGA Europe is much more than competition. Visit pdga.com/join and grow the sport. PDGA Europe.
So, Ida, it was so nice to talk to Sofia, PDGA Europe Board of Directors. Do you have
I feel like we were safe with her.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. I felt like it was, I don't know. I feel like I trust her, and I feel like they are moving in the right direction, and it's going to be very exciting to see what's ahead.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that she has experience from other sports, meaning that she knows a few things, and maybe she can bring some experiences in from other places, and also feels like with that, she can make things go and make things started. So yeah, that's really exciting.
Yeah, and the fact that she is traveling with her own sports company, she experiences sports in different countries. And I think that is one of the tricky things with being a European umbrella organization, that all the countries are so different because they are at different stages of growth in disc golf, and bringing that all together and kind of realizing what the most critical needs are is, I think, very important. And I think that's a good skill that she has.
Yeah, I agree. And with that, we just take in our next guest?
Yes.
Now we are going to talk to Caroline Selnes. Welcome to the pod, Caroline.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here. So let's just get right into it. We can see in your PDGA history that you have been a member since 2020, and we know that you we know you as one of the hardworking women behind the very successful female-only tournament, Nordic Female Open. But for those who don't know you yet, could you give us a short introduction to your background in disc golf?
Yeah, if you saw my PDGA profile, you probably saw that I don't play many tournaments, but I have one of those old PDGA numbers. So it's below 20. So I was pre-COVID player. Touched my first disc probably in 2018, and when we were about 4 people in my club of women playing regularly, and then started mostly playing in 2019. I started competing then and joined the PGA in 2020. So yeah, I've got injured in 2020, so I still haven't gotten my length or technique properly back yet. So my playing got a bit slowed down because of that. So I started organizing. not just because of that though, but so how I got into Nordic Female Open is part of my disc golf story. So we had a woman in Sandnes Disc Golf Club, which is one of Norway's largest clubs. She has been epic getting women out there, and when we played, we were the normal 4 people playing, and she used to organize Ladies' Day. So she did that first time in 2018, and I joined first time in 2019. And then we were like 12 girls going on. So I started helping out, and in 2020 we were 34 women.
Wow.
Just for Ladies' Day. Yeah,
Wow.
it was great. It was recruitment. It was my aunt joined us one of the years, so it was really nice. So yeah, but no, I've traveled a bit. Not too much. I don't do big tournaments usually. I'm more of a one disc challenge girl than a big tournament girl. So I like the social part of disc golf a lot. So that's why I like with women getting more into the social parts of disc golf, not only the competing ones.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I think that's the key of getting women to stay in disc golf and not just trying it 1 or 2 times, but also developing a community for the women to make them feel at home and kind of safe on the course and in that atmosphere.
And it was really hard back before COVID when you were 4 women. And in the weeklies, you were 1 or 2 women. So you had to kind of like train the boys. So I've kind of been from the start there where you have to train them because they don't know what we need. So I kind of been doing that. I joined the board of the club in 2019 and then again in 2022, no, 21, and so on. So I've been part of the organizing just to get the female voices out there because I think it's important.
Yeah.
But disc golf career,
Agreed.
not a big
Agreed.
career.
Very
Not a big career. So yeah.
Well, I mean, everyone can't be a player. Some of us has to be voices and organizers, and
those who can't do, they teach. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Disc golf is those who can't do, they organize.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
No, I'm just joking. It's just a joke I have there.
But I want to hear more about, you talked about you first being 2, then 4, then 12, then 32, 34. Can you talk about the things you did in between to get more women to get there?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question because it's in some ways, if you get a budget, you get some prizes. Organizing a Ladies' Day is not that hard. It's if you can organize an event, it's the same. You get a couple of trainers. You do. If anyone needs any suggestion for an event, just let me know. I'll send it over to you. But the hard part, as you point out now, is what do you do afterwards? Like, what do you do in between the ladies' day that you have once a year? So there was a couple of things that was done really well in Sandnes, and it was progressive. Like, we were progressing from tournament to tournament, learning new things from tournament to tournament. But Trine in Sandnes, she was really focused in tournaments to talk to the women. When there was a new girl on the course, talk to her. Introduce yourself. She made a group as well for ladies of Sandnes Disc Golf. We also have on Facebook ladies in Norway playing. So these communities that were created. And what she did well is that she used them. He wasn't only waiting for other people to use them, but she used them. She's invited people out. So also when I joined, I also did that. So then we were two, inviting people and showing to use the communities. And you can't go from 2 to 100. That's not possible. You need to have the flow and dare to actually promote it. And if you get one girl, that's good.
Yeah.
You don't need 30 for something to be successful. So that's basically what we did. She took care of us during tournaments as well. We worked with the TDs when we were like 5 girls to not go the same 5 girls on the card in finals every time. Split it up, move some of the best girls up with the boys even, if you know what I mean. Do small adjustments so that it's a nice community to be a part of. That's some of the small things. But what happened when we became like 10, it's very interesting. When we became about 10 girls, because then the boys also saw what's happening. So we managed to get the boys to actually increase prices, winnings for women in the Open, the yearly tournament, so that it would actually be beneficial for other women to travel to our club to play the tournament. Because women, they don't have the chance to earn as much because it's always on how many people is in a class.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been working any on that to get the women's prize, the winnings up, but that actually helps because then you can get the good women to come and promote as well. And then you have the females going caddies for their boyfriends, and they see there's more and more women growing. So we did that, and we also created an FA1. Before we only had FPO, but then there was such a big difference in the levels of the women that even though we might be just 6 people, we played in 2 classes.
Yeah.
So the new women didn't have to compete against the women that played for 7 years.
Yeah.
So that's some of the small parts.
Yeah, I think these are all really good points.
And also we shared a lot. So Trine, she started, the other people started ladies' days in the area, an hour, 2 away. She went there. She helped the women there organize as well. So she set up as trainer and so on. So what eventually ended up with Nordic Female Open is that we were max 60 people in a ladies' day in Sandnes. We had to make a cap to make sure people had a good day. And then another club started doing a similar thing, and they started with monthlies. So they found a perfect time. It was around 11 o'clock on a Sunday where women could leave their children. They had been fed, then put into an activity with their father and so on. Then women could come out and play disc golf together. So there were actually 30 women just on a monthly once, which was amazing. And that's when me and Trine saw, okay, people are now playing for fun. They're starting to join weeklies. How can we get people to move and actually play tournaments other places? So that was the next step. So that's what NFO or Female Open is all about now. To get the people to move as well.
Yeah. And when did this start? And when did it start with the Nordic Female Open? So when did you choose to make that tournament?
So they did Ladies' Day 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then in 22, we saw that there's so many. There's other people doing the same thing in the area. So we're like, okay, now why aren't people moving? So we saw that women who have boyfriends who are playing are traveling a lot more than women who don't have that boyfriend. And we started asking questions like, why aren't we actually moving around? Why aren't we traveling? And we saw that women have a completely different approach to traveling to a tournament when they don't know people. We're more risk averse. So we don't know how much money things are going to cost, how we're going to get there, where to sleep, how to get food, what to expect. It's really hard for us to move. So the first step to actually travel to another tournament is very big. So that's when we started in 2023. Okay, let's create Nordic Female Open. So we got Anniken Sten on the team, Katarina Staalesen, Sigrid Sandum, Eirin Brun. So some of the best women in Norway. We gathered them in a meeting to see what do we need and how can we get there. So we started simple in Sandnes, and then it just has progressed. So that was make it simple for us first was one thing.
Yeah, and Sandnes is the name of your local club, or?
Yes,
okay.
It is. Sandnes Disc Golf Club.
Sandnes
so
Disc
they actually have the Nordic Championship there next weekend. So that's going to be fun.
Okay, cool. That sounds really good. I really like the, seeing this develop during the years, and just what can we make of this? How can we make it more for the women? And then so in 2023 you decided to start, and you invited these top players in Norway. Was it something else that was really important for you to just, in this tournament, we need to have this in place, we need the women to have these things that we can offer?
Yeah, we wanted to make the decision easier for the girls. So we wanted to have it. We kind of put some of the Sandnes traditions on things. So usually in Sandnes, when you have a player pack, it's usually food, which is great because you never know how far it is to the shops. Are you flying? You don't have a car. How is it with everything around this? So what we did is that we put food included. We got places when it comes to hotels and so on. So we made suggestions for that. We how to get there. We made all this information about it and made a Facebook event as well and asked people to talk to each other. They don't, but it's there. It's the option. So we tried to get as many things on roll as possible, and we made all classes. Kind of. We thought. I'll come back to that later, but we made all the classes we were thinking about. And then we also changed the layout a bit. So one thing when talking to Sigrid, Irene, and all of these as well, how can we make a layout that's interesting, that we can play good disc golf? Interesting female disc golf. That's been so important for us. Not easy. So as an amateur, you don't need an easy. You just need a different type. Of course, you need different challenges. So Trine started as the tournament director. So she created a layout that was, we could just do one because we were like 26 people. So the first year it wasn't that many people, but the course is really nice as well. So she could change one part. I'm not a big fan of doing like from par 3 to par 4, but what she did, she chose those holes where the pros have to go for birdies to actually have a differentiation in the field. So we changed some of the course, we made them shorter. So you have to hit between a double mando. You can't safe because then you're going to lose. But for the amateurs, they could throw as far as they could and not go out of the double mando. So kind of changed. So the layout was challenged in a way that it's meant to be, just with different kind of lengths and angles. So that was really successful.
Yeah, I mean, that's really an important point, is making a layout that's going to be fun and challenging for the women, and not just for them to feel defeated even like after one hole. Yeah, I think for us it's been a very similar process, and this year we we talked to some of the FPO players and realized that also for them, the rating is really important. So we wanted to make sure that we give them a fair chance to come to our tournament and be able to succeed. So we had a separate tournament or a separate layout for the FPO players and then one for the amateur
we
players.
did that this year as well. We split it up, and not that the amateur layout was easy. It played in 880 day one, so 880 rated. So it wasn't an easy amateur round, if you know what I mean. But it was challenging the amateurs in a different ways than the FPO players. So they both got challenged, and you got to split up the ratings. Because one thing we learned in year number 2 was that because there's so many new players, there's so many amateurs, FPO players kind of had to go and teach new players rules, people who kind of have to put the spirit up a bit and so on. And that was not fair, I think, to the open players who need the rating, who's there at work, kind of. So to split up the field was very good this year. Yeah.
And so how many, you were, what is it, 25, 26 in 2023? And then how many were you at this year, 2025?
2025, we were 63 players in the end after a couple cancellations. So nine divisions, 63 players. 23 of them were over 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good.
We thought we offered all classes until last year. We have an amazing player. She's over 60. She's in the amateur classes. She played FA3 last year. And she says, I love this. I know no, she didn't play FA3. She played the FP40 last year because we only have 40. We didn't have enough overs. But she said, I'm running behind everyone. No, she played. I'm sorry, I don't remember. There was one of the other girls, at least one that's over 40 played in the amateurs, and she said, "Well, the young ones, the 18-year-olds, they're running away from me because they're walking so fast." So the playing pace was very different. So this year we actually offered FP40, FP50, FA40, and FA50, and we had 6 full class in both 40s, and we have 5 players in the 50s. Some players over 50 in the 60s as well. So we can offer that as well, but then it will be a very small class. So yeah, so that was really interesting to see the development there. So yeah.
Yeah. And that's so important. I mean, we've seen that it's more, the one who wants to compete, it's more appealing to them if they can compete in a class that feels, they can relate to in some way or another.
Yes.
Yeah. So having
how many players did you have this year?
We are stuck on the lucky number 36.
Oh, okay,
So we hosted the tournament 3 times, and we've been 36.
We were
each
36 last year, Ida. So maybe next year. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be 60 next year.
We will break the lucky 36.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's so hard though to go. For us this year, I think everything was location. Because it's close to Oslo, it's close to the capital. There's a lot more players in this area because so the first year was on the west coast of Norway, which is an 8-hour drive from Oslo. So you have to kind of you have to drive or fly, but it's very costly. And then also next year we moved south towards Oslo. And now we're just an hour away from Oslo. So there's a lot more airports and everything. So first year we had 3 girls coming from the UK, Ophelia, Amanda, and Elva, which was amazing. All 3 of them were here last year as well in the south of Norway. And this year, 2 of them, Elva couldn't, she was in Konopiste, but she won last year. Wow. And this year, Ophelia and Amanda returned as well, which is really fun. So we were actually Sweden, Denmark, England, and Norway at the tournament. I just missed you guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. We really wanted to.
It was very
Yeah.
tempting. I will
Don't
say.
think about cool. Come to Nordic Female. That's more fun. Ugh.
Yeah.
Next
Yes,
time.
we're doing the same course next year.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing the same place. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, are you doing the same dates?
Not sure yet. So we've been told by the men that there's a way of doing things in disc golf, which basically is that international tournaments get to choose dates first, and then it's the national tournaments. I'm not very happy about it, but I'll try to play by the rules.
If you just if you just pick a weekend and then you stick with that forever, then no one else can pick that weekend.
But the thing is, when it's a bit more sensitive with women, because next year it's a day off on the Monday of the same weekend. And many of the long weekends, first of all, we're a 2-day tournament. So why do we need a weekend with 3 days off? Then you could have the national championship or national cups, that takes 3 days, so you don't have to take one extra day off work, is basically what I'm thinking. But also one more thing is that many more women feel pressured and goose signs, or that they have to be with their families when it's a long weekend. You don't want to leave your kids for a long weekend. So that's also why I'm a bit struggling on putting that date, because I want to respect that, so as much women can join as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very important to consider all parts of it.
Yeah, and definitely. I think that's where women needs to help the men more, because men don't think about those things. They usually don't think about the long weekends next year, because it's usually, sorry, but usually they are not always in the planning for the family and what's going on those weekends. So that's where us women need to come out and actually look at dates when we're arranging things for women, when we're doing tournaments locally, and actually give them suggestions about times of start and so on, because that helps a lot. So ladies' days and everything is always after breakfast time, and that you can put the kids in activities, and then we start. So you can actually get them to babysitters and so on. Take care of that
So in the work that you've done with Nordic Female Open, can you, now I feel like you mentioned a lot of great things that you have thought of and changed, but are there any particular lessons that you have learned over the years that you would give someone who is going through the same process?
Yeah, one thing, there's a couple of things. First of all, most men want to help in the clubs. Like seriously, most men want more women players. They want more players, but they cannot be in charge of all recruitment of ladies. It's not possible. So use them and ask them, get help from them, and so on. But you have to we women have to go in charge of these activities. But most will help, so don't stay away from the boys. Use them for what they're worth there. They're really good spotters, and they're really good with barbecue for the free lunch. If it wasn't for the men in Selnes, this wouldn't be happening. Say it like that. They've been trainers, they've been helping with the course, cleaning, organizing, everything. So behind every NFO woman, there's a man. So use them. But the second also that was really important. I worked with volunteer work 15 years now, and it's so possible to make it hard for yourself. You can make so much more work than it's necessary. So stop working harder, work smarter. For example, you don't need to make all sponsor signs by hand. You know what I mean? You don't need to get hammers and knives, everything. No, use 25 pounds or dollars, whatever, from your budget to buy a sponsor poster. If the sponsor is worth it, just buy it. Sorry, but like, don't waste your time and energy on things that are not necessary. And not every woman needs a prize. They don't need winnings, all of them. So stop putting so much stress on your shoulders by getting sponsors and winnings, and think what you're doing is good enough. It doesn't need to be perfect. Most players don't notice all the things in behind the scenes anyway.
No, and so many of the amateur women are there for the community and just to
Yeah.
get into the sport, and are just happy to be in a female only event.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And also what we did,
How do you?
one thing we did as well with
Go ahead.
the layouts, but also the days. So I know it's a bit old fashioned, but we actually have a players meeting the night before. So at 7:00 in the evening, we have a players meeting. Most women are already there trying the course. Why not meet physically already then? So because we do shotgun starts, because we want people to be together. So we do shotgun starts, and then we do lunch together, free lunch, but we only play one round a day. Because after lunch, we've done clinics. First year, we talked about preparing for travel, how to pack your bag, how to read maps, like the caddy books and all of that. Next year, we actually had menstrual cycle expert coming in to tell us about training, food, nutrition as a woman, how to do that for tournaments and all of that. This year we had Sigrid Sandum talked about a lot of mental preparation and also how to train and play with disc golf to be better, which was really fun. And after the clinics, we've had fun and games, basically. So last year we had a driving competition, we had Ring of Fire on a putting basket, but also we do one disc challenge with dices. You remember those dices when
Yeah.
you roll and it says how to throw it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we do that with similar discs. So first year and this year they all got discs in their player packs, and they have to play one disc round with that disc. So that's really fun. So the first year was a fuse.
Oh, love
and
fuse.
So many rollers.
Yeah.
So many rollers. Last year we had a compass or something in between, and then we also get all the spotters, all the volunteers, everyone joins, not just the women, but the men as well. They're welcome to join all the socials. We get also food and everything for all the volunteers, so it's a big festival kinda. So we don't exclude anyone in that. It's just the playing. And also in Good Son of Spirit, we had social gatherings in the evenings and on the Saturday as well. So first we just had a barbecue and people could bring their own food and grill it. And we had some beers. We did old-fashioned disc golf style.
Yeah.
So we ended up with drunk doubles 9:00 in the evening because it's light out in Norway in May. And so we lost just one player that night, but she met up for the shotgun start on the Sunday.
I thought you were going to say you lost
No,
one disc.
we lost a player. We had to look for her. It was really fun. She played so well, though, the next day. It's embarrassing. But yeah, so day number 2, we do round number 2, and then we do lunch again. And then we do a final with just open classes and FA1 with only 9 holes. So we can end the day early enough to get home on the Sunday, so you don't have to take off any on day off on Monday. But it also gives the opportunity for the amateur players to follow the cards of the open players in the finals. They can actually watch female disc golf live. Yeah. So the first year we were just 26 players, but there were like 40 players maybe, and then people in the community came to watch the finals. They followed the lead card.
That's so nice. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I haven't thought about it that way, but that's I'm gonna make a mental note of that. And
and many
that
things.
For next
I mean,
year.
you say a lot of inspiring things, and you've built this for some years. So I mean, to someone who's listening, you can take some of the things and start there. But I mean, it sounds like you really have found a good way to build a community at the same time as you're doing a tournament.
Yeah. And Norway is a bit special. We did something different last year. We created a Snapchat group for all like women disc golfers. So we have over 50 female disc golfers in this Snapchat group. So Anniken Sten is in it. She sends updates from America, and Katrina Stolz and everyone. You can follow players from all over Norway in all tournaments. So you just see female disc golf everywhere. So when Kokole, the amateur open they're having, you should see it. Last year, we got like 3 women got places because it was first come, first serve, which does not work well with women. This year, we had like over 20 places taken. It was 600 players on a waiting list after 4 minutes or something like that. But we got a lot of them because females all over Norway sat ready on Snapchat discussing who was going, and to just book and sending YouTube links of the courses and just chatting away about disc golf, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So aren't there any places reserved for the women?
No, they don't have any replacement, anything like that at the Kokol Amateur Open. They put the PGA rules completely and have it first come, first serve, open classes.
That's very
there was a big discussion last year. They got to hear it, but they reserved, I think, a few of the wild cards to share out to women, I think, as well. But what helps is for women just to talk together.
Yeah,
we don't need men always to teach us. It's just to have a community to talk to.
Yeah, thanks to Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
that's a really
basically.
good. Yeah, that's a really good community.
Yeah,
yeah. Back to the Nordic Female Open. Is the PDGA Europe involved in any way in your tournament?
Yes, yeah, they've been great. So they joined us last year, supported by the tournament grant. We got that last year to buy stuff for the tournament and so on, which helped a lot. Especially since one of the things we're doing is trying to get the prices down and get as much winnings out as possible. So even though we have free food, this year we had free sleepover in tents. The boys at Hestehagen where they put up tents for all the women that wanted to sleep over, which was great. Like they just borrowed tents from everyone they knew. They're amazing. But PGA Europe helps us with the other things here to keep the prices down, to get more women to actually be able to afford it. And it's not only to afford it, but actually use that money on themselves. Again, we're more risk averse, and we're not the big spenders when we don't know what it goes to. So it's to keep the prices down, and that the PGA Europe has helped a lot. And this year as well, they're even more involved, been chatting back and forth on how to improve the tournament, and so on. It was great. I had a chat with Sofia. They just talked to other women like you girls as well, who to discuss to the community for us to organize as well is great. So PGA Europe has been amazing in this process.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that they have been supporting us as well. So I think they're doing great things for women's disc golf. I mean, they are supporting this podcast.
Yeah, I know that. I love that. When they told me that, I was so happy. So that this is amazing. So I told some people at the tournament I would join this podcast. They hadn't heard of it before, sadly.
What?
So hopefully we'll get you a new audience in Norway. That would be amazing.
Yeah, they want to hear you talk about the NFO. So I mean,
no, I think I heard your last episode, and it was amazing just to hear women talk about women doing well and just achieving. I thought it was great. So this podcast is amazing.
Thank you so much.
So yeah.
So,
Thank
what
you.
are the plans for Nordic Female Open moving forward?
Well, first of all, we wanted to go internationally. That's why it's called Nordic. We wanted to move over to Sweden and Denmark. So, but the recruitment hasn't gone that deep yet. So hopefully we'll get to move it soon. But I already told we're going to be at Hästhagen again next year. Did an amazing job this year. And we want to have it in the same place because we're changing a bit around. So I'm going to step down as a leader. And we have new people coming in, which is great. So we have several people who want to join. And we're going to expand a bit. So I've learned a lot these years, and we want to share it. We also want to help the boys who don't have that many women in the area to get the knowledge on how to get more women to play. So we want to expand not just from the tournament, but a bit more into Norwegian politics, but also to help the clubs with recruitment. So hopefully we'll get a website up during off season, not on season. Nothing happens now. But that's hopefully the plans. I get asked if I'm going to expand the field next year to add more players than 72 players. The answer is no. I will not have more than 4 women playing on each card. Sorry, but that's not happening. We're doing maximum 4 player cards. So yeah, tournament's happening, but we're hopefully getting an ambassador program. We're going to make up the ladies' day that I talked about and make different what do you call them? Recipes, kinda, on how to do it, so people don't have to find up the wheel again themselves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this kind of ties into our final question about what your vision is for women's disc golf in Norway, and kind of where you see the future going.
Well, the thing is, it's really interesting in Norway now because of this community that has expanded. Women are creating their own spaces. And not that we need them in that way, but it helps getting more women in the other spaces as well. There are more female volunteers. There are more female TDs. So for me, my vision of female disc golf is that women will dare to take more room and be more loud, because the boys are very loud. So let's be as loud. But let's back each other. But also, I hope more Norwegian players will join international tournaments. That's and dare to travel a bit more than we do today. That's my goal, that we will get these women, amazing women, out of the country.
Get them the courage to, yeah.
So hopefully we'll see people in Bilbao with the PDGA Europe in October. So on the Facebook group, we already started talking together. So I think we're about 5 or 6 girls now talking about traveling together. So that would be nice.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we could talk to you for hours.
We
Caroline.
will.
It's been super interesting to hear. Definitely. It's been really interesting to hear about your journey with, both the disc golf scene overall, but also particularly with the tournament and how you kind of started small and been building it over years. I think that's a really important point to make, is that these things doesn't happen overnight. Like, you have to be patient. You have to really create this space for women, and if you do that, they will show up.
And
eventually.
you have to enjoy yourself while you're doing it, because if you're not enjoying yourself, the players are not enjoying themselves. So the best thing we bought last year was a speaker that we just ran around with. Shania Twain, Feel Like a Woman. So we were just dancing. I have video of 30 women just dancing around on the field with discs and baskets. So we just have to make it fun.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the perfect note to end on. Thank you so much, Caroline Selnes from Nordic Female Open, for joining Talk Birdie to me. And we're back, just the two of us.
Yeah, feels lonely.
It does, doesn't it? I feel like both Sofia and Caroline were great guests. it was so exciting. I mean, so interesting to talk to them about their different perspectives and what they have been working on and the journey in disc golf. And I think that both of us learned a lot, and I hope that all of your listeners also learned a lot of things and got some ideas of kind of how to work with developing disc golf, even if it's not on the women's scene. I mean, it could be for juniors or any other small group that needs some extra attention in order to grow in disc golf.
Yeah, I mean, I can just hearing to Caroline talking about the things that they do outside of the tournament is really inspiring to just build the safety to play disc golf with other women, so that, and also to hear that her, vision for the NFO is to make women travel abroad. Travel to other tournaments just with the self-confidence that they get from this tournament. So yeah, really exciting. And I think that some women listening now and our Swedish listeners and maybe some other listeners from Europe, they want to go to this kind of tournament now where there is an all-female tournament. And we have one in Sweden coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we know of a few. So Therese in Varberg is organizing ladies, I think they changed name to Ladies Pink Disc, if I don't misremember. There are already several women signed up. I think there's more than 20. So there are plenty of women to play with if you want to experience the beautiful atmosphere of playing with a lot of other women. And I mean, I know Therese also does a lot of extra things for the ladies, just as we talked with Caroline about. Go and sign up for that tournament. There's, I think, if I don't remember wrongly, there's also Alingsås Women's Disc Golf Challenge. I'm sure there are more. I'm sorry, I'm not mentioning you. But if you want to find a women's only tournament, go to Disc Golf Scene. You can check a box to find women only disc golf tournaments. This is if you're in Europe overall. If you're in Sweden, you know that most tournaments can be found on Xing. I'm sure if you search for women or tjej, the word in Swedish for girl, you can find some. But we highly encourage you to do this.
Yes. And I just want to reassure you, Ida, that you said correctly. It's called Ladies Pink Disc Golf Sweden. And there are now 22 women. I was going to say the Swedish word anmälda, but registered for this tournament.
Yeah. And
so, anyone, any tournament. If you feel inspired and just want to be a part of something like this, the pro tip on going to disc golf scene, just go there, do that.
Go there, do that, play disc golf, everyone.
Yes. Now.
Okay, let's wrap things up. I mean, like I said, we learned a lot. We had some great talks. Next episode is going to be released in July. I think topic TBD. But we are closing on Worlds, so who knows? Maybe it will.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Cliffhanger. We want to say thank you to PDGA Europe Women for powering this podcast and working with us to grow the sport for women.
And thank you to everyone who has listened. And thank you, as usual, to Pontus for editing and producing this podcast.
Bye. See you at next one. Bye.